Started. Are you there, guys?
Yep, we are all here.
Nice. Can you hear me loud and clear also? Because I have a new microphone today.
No, it's perfect.
Okay. So, how are you doing, first of all? Like, Abdullah, we have not seen in a while. What's up, man? How are you doing, Robinson?
I'm good, Jonas. I'm good. Last week I was caught up with something, so I couldn't join. If you remember, I messaged you about that.
Yes.
Otherwise, yeah, I'm good. I was traveling actually, and I came back to Lisbon. So yeah,
So nice.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe like we do like a short catch up, and I prepared a couple of notes. We will go through that.
Sure.
So the whole main goal of this is like to help you craft like a short documentary film about a
Hmm.
person that really inspires you. Maybe I need let's see.
Sure. I think the guy is he's been logged out. I think he's gonna be back.
Oh, yeah, probably has like issues with the internet.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just give you a brief about myself. I don't think you
Let's
know
go.
anything about me. So I was in Dubai for like 10, 15, 20 years rather. And I was in advertising, been in advertising forever. So we were doing advertising plus events, which I told you I'm into events also, organizing stand-up comedy shows, musical concerts in Dubai. I shifted to Lisbon, and from there on, I've been trying to do something in feature. We did a feature, and not feature, rather for MBC channel. We produced a TV show in Dubai in Arabic, and we did couple of TV shows for children. We did for Arabic shows, and then we were planning something. And by then we shifted to the whole family shifted to Portugal, Lisbon, and now we are working on something which is, as I said, a feature, and trying to work that out in a way. But it's been difficult because I don't know the language. I'm not meeting people. I'm very reserved, so that's the reason I kind of get a little difficult to meet people out here. Yeah.
Sure. So you would mostly be looking for crew.
Yes. Now I am working on a script. I have somebody who's working on music, background music, some, like little bit here and there. It's all scattered right now, but let's say in November onwards, it's going to be a regular affair of me and my team trying to work something out in a
Yeah.
proper way. So till I'm actually looking out for a cinematographer, director or photographer rather. So probably
Mhm.
that is something I'm going to be looking for because I'll be directing it myself. So I'll just need an assistant for that. And yeah, working on the script, trying to work on that. Also, would love to understand from your side, if you know how the business of online OTT platforms work. I mean, is that something which you are specialized in? I would love to hear about that from you and
Yeah, there's
anybody.
you have Vimeo acquired like a platform which was called VHX TV, and it's Vimeo on demand. You can create your own OTT platform there, and they charge like through the amount of subscribers you have. So I think it's free to start with, and then you can, in theory, like create your own streaming pretty easy and like with Vimeo quality. I would go for this one.
Okay, okay. But do you have any idea on the Netflix and Amazon and other platforms how it works and
Okay,
how? Because I know that you need to have a distributor to be connected for that one.
I see you don't want to like independently host it, but like get hosted by Netflix and Amazon and so on.
Correct, correct.
Probably the way would be to go to festivals and network in person.
Okay, I got
Yeah, but like you can reach out to all of these questions like in a one-on-one DM, and then we like can go through this. Because like I will just sum up what we're like going to do today, which is again like in a nutshell so far, what you like ideally, I mean, we've been working now 4 weeks or something together, and I know that your schedules are like super busy, but like when you have time, it would be amazing to find like some space to check off these boxes, which is like choose a person that you really would like to document that inspires you, then like get us some photos that are like representing that and put that into like a very basic storyboard. This is what we where we are now. And like I know Inga has already gathered some mood photos up to Lai. I think you've chosen like a person. And Robinson, I'm not sure if you're like also wanting to do a project because it feels like that you're like already pretty advanced, but it could be still nice. And maybe like the others could also learn from your cinematography background. And we could like just open up that space to like, yeah, make a really nice experience for all of us. And what we've covered so far is like we went through the anatomy of a film where we kind of understood like in theory how a film is composed and that it's like layered up with like multiple audio and video files and titles. We went through like how to craft a quality concept. That basically means like, you know, a storyboard, a mood board, and all of these things that we see here. So this is like a mood board that I made once for a client where we will like go over it. You have like a short storyline and then like a mood board, the story. And today I will like just guide you through what happened from that storyboard to the final film. And this will take like maybe half an hour, and then we can like all, you know, you can interrupt me anytime, ask questions, or yeah, really let's just have a dialogue on this. So how you feel right now, guys, about the mood board you've made, for example, Inga? I know you worked on something. Would you like to talk about it? Sorry, can you please explain the difference between a storyboard and a mood board? So like a storyboard would be more specific, where you already like go and have like a real, like a sequence of things that happens. So here you can see like seconds 0 to 7. You have like probably like this drone shot. This was like an advertisement for a handbag. And then like seconds 7 to 15, you have her sitting in the car. So that would be a storyboard where you have like a location and you really kind of, everybody knows what to do at that shot. So we have like shot 1 and then everybody knows this is going to be a drone shot. So let's get the drone ready and so on. And like a mood board would be very easy, just like a couple of images. This could be mood board-ish. So it just sets like a broad vision of what is going to happen, but it's not really a plan. It's more like an idea. And like to go from idea to plan, we need to make it specific and add locations and time. Yeah, I think that's how I would describe it. Robinson, you have also so much experience with filmmaking. What do you think about that? Are you still with me? Abdullah, you have questions?
Hey, hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, Robinson, I can hear you. Do you have something to add to that?
Not exactly, but would love to understand more on how it works because, as per me, how I put it is, if you say storyboard, I mean it's a sequence of all the scenes which is going to be shot. So you have it, on a drawing board, a little bit of a drawing. Now we have all the softwares which helps us to create a storyboard. But normally, what we used to do earlier is we used to make it on a plain white sheet, and we used to have them on that. Now we
Yeah.
have all softwares and we can actually work through it. And yeah, I think, and I'm also new, I'm not that experienced in filmmaking because we were producing it, we were always producing it. This is the first time I'm landing into a featuring into director new ship. So it's going to be a challenge for me, and that's the reason I started looking into all the classes and stuff like that, where you came in on board and I said, let me have a word with you and learn from everybody who's in town. to understand how you guys work differently, because every person has a different way of dealing with it. So even this could be a different challenge.
Absolutely. And also there is not, as you also indicated, like not one way to do it, but like there's a couple of things that worked for many people, and that became kind of the way to go. And like that's why we have these terms like mood board, storyboard. It's just like one way to like get all of these ideas into the reality. And like anything, you can make a drawing, you can like make like something else, like a sculpture, a film, or whatever, like a fashion piece. So this is just a way to organize your thoughts. And you said like people also do that on paper. And like I really love to work on paper, because I think there's like such a direct connection between your whatever you want to do and the hand that like cannot really be captured in like digital. But like the advantage of digital is that you have the files available everywhere, and we will come there in a second. There's software for that, like Frame.io. But let's stay with this for a second. And let's say we have done our mood board and it looks something like this. And when you haven't, or when you have like issues doing that, then just reach out to me or whatever, and we can help you get unstuck on that. But let's say you have this set. What I really, really like to do when there is the time is to shoot something like a test shoot, where you just go to the place that you selected and shoot very easy videos just with the phone. Wait, I need to share the screen. You can't see it actually. So let's go back. Here we go. So this is kind of the storyboard that we want to have. And then we kind of went to a place that kind of resembles that and just did some easygoing shoots with the phone that probably would not end in the real video. This is a friend of mine walking there who then helped me with the film. And then, so we just see what is the place like in real and do the ideas work. So this is then resembling the handbag for the commercial. Yeah, and it took me like maybe 10 minutes to do this. But what we then have is kind of some material that we then can play around with. We can like see, okay, which shot goes where. And yeah, I think the best thing about that is that we have taken action to some degree. And from there on, I love to work with a program called Frame.io. You can also work with this if you want, if you're working on bigger projects. And in this program, you can like organize all of these files and add like locations to them and just have them available everywhere, and it's free to start. So this could be one way to organize your files. Yeah, and no matter what kind of project you're working on, I think investing these like 2 hours to just, check out the place in person and see where's like a toilet, where's like a coffee, where can you like maybe park the car, and what are like the driving distances between multiple locations, and just going through this once will make it so much easier when you're actually there with like all of the people and the gear. And yeah, maybe you even notice that the idea you have is not really working in that place, but you stumble into something way more exciting that you could not have really planned when you have been in your mind stuck on your computer. But sometimes it's just nice to go outside and see what is actually happening there. Yeah, and like as I said, it took like 1 hour to do this. I would call this like doing a test shoot, but you could also call it location scouting. I like the idea of test shoot because it hints already that we could edit this, and then we could even make like a short, test with the music we want to work with, and the whole project will be so much easier after, because you've already done it to some extent, and it's like really baby stepping up to a more advanced version. Yeah, and this took like half a day, maybe 2 hours. And then the next day, or like 3 days after, we went there with the big equipment, or like with some equipment. Oops. And with a rented car, there was like some Ford Mustang, an old one that you see here. And that's why it's great to do the test shoots, because then you let's say you rent something and you can just have some time without of these rental costs, and or you rent some equipment and then you can have some time without renting this equipment. And then, yeah, this is me then sweating all over because it was really warm and I was not wearing a white shirt, building up this camera equipment. And this is all stuff you can avoid when you just walk there with your phone and test it out, easy going. You don't need to sweat in summer. And then we were like, this is like a gimbal I'm having here. And then she walks there down the, yeah. Basically, it's going one-on-one through all of the things that are in the storyboard. And the gimbal helps to keep it stabilized. Yeah, and it's a fashion commercial, so. And as we see, kind of most of the shots are in, yeah. For example, we have the car shots here. Yeah, and it was so easy losing your audio. Okay, can you still hear me, guys? Nice. Okay, great. Yeah, I will check if the music is a bit more silent outside. Yep, it's better. Yep. Yeah, I would really love to hear your thoughts on this. If you have done test shots already yourself, or yeah, anything that you have to add to that, or how you could imagine to incorporate that for your film. Inga, you want to let me know how your film is going right now? You created some mood videos. Yes, sorry, I'm trying to use my microphone, but it's not allowing me. Okay. Yeah, I'm in this park here right now in Georgia.
We just there for leisure.
Say it again. Your mic dropped. no,
I said,
we're.
are you there for?
I think you're. How did the meetup went? It went super nice. So actually, Nina is still inside, and then also Henrietta. We met right now, and actually we were like working on a little film sequence in that park right now. But then I did not want to keep you guys waiting, so we will continue that tomorrow. But it's really nice. We had like coffee, and we were like, yeah, walking around here on the park, and I will post some photos. And we can do these meetups everywhere in the world. Like if you want, just suggest where we do that next one. Maybe it's Lisbon, maybe it's elsewhere. Um, so much fun, and we can also make films together every time. Wayne, so nice to have you here. Yeah, we're halfway through, but it's still nice, amazing to have you. And how you doing, man? Yeah, but no matter, I think what could be super nice to do, like, is whoever wants to work on that film project that he set out to, like, shoot a documentary film about a person they like, just do like a short test shoot that takes like maybe 30 minutes of your time, and like go there, hey Wayne, and test it out in person, film it on the location, just hold your smartphone, and yeah, see what happens. And then we can analyze that the next week or next Sunday together, go through that. Yeah, Wayne, because you joined a bit after, like today we were just going really precisely through going out and actually making a test shoot before doing the real production. So
Mhm.
just taking the smartphone, going to the actual location with somebody that resembles the actor or the actor, and going there in person, taking like not a lot of effort to take shots, like, well, they don't even need to be like, well, with the right settings, just capture it in any way with your phone, shaky or not, and then see how it feels like, and check the locations, and check like which shots could work when you actually go there with more heavy equipment eventually later, and then set up all of that equipment. But like doing this only with a smartphone is so much fun, is so easy, can be done alone. And yeah, this is what I always love to do when I have the time. And it
Mhm.
might work for your process as well. It might also, yeah, mean that you just do this for the mood board and inspiration process. In the end, it's about finding like your own pace to that. But this is something that just worked for me, and that I like, yeah, maybe works for you, maybe not. But like, this is how I do it. And then later, yeah, we went also through like making a little storyboard and mood board. This is all material from other films, movies, AI. But then we find like locations that resembles these spaces, make a very raw video, and then we make like the proper shoot with makeup, hair and makeup, the right clothes, and a nicer camera. And then we
Mhm.
have the final commercial. And this was like a medium priced film production. It was like shot in 1 day or half a day, and the price was €3,500 plus taxes. So it was like a smaller job, but still nice. And we did a nice grading. And then like once you have like a client like this, for example, you can create these contents on a regular basis, because yeah, once they like your work, they need it like every month. So you can say you
Mhm.
shoot like one or two clips with these clients, and then that's called like a retainer. And we will go to all of the money and pricing strategies like at the end of this workshop. Because for now, like we're still like, yeah, we're making this film of a person that inspires us, because if it is inspiring us, there's a high level chance that it might also inspire somebody else. And like with these projects, then we can like work towards getting clients, because they want their audience to be inspired. So it's about finding like this match of what inspires you and what inspires others, and there you can make like have fun and money.
Okay.
That's kind of, yeah, what I thought would be nice to add now. And like in the next session, we will go very in depth into like shooting. So there we will find all of the things, the gear we need. In this case, as a one-person operator. And you can ask me already now if you have questions about like equipment, anything. And if not, like I'll cover it all next week, Sunday. Yeah, so how confident do you feel right now about like going out and shooting?
I feel confident. I've done a few shoots.
Nice. We could watch some together. Your mic is off.
Been going through editing up some little scenes from different movies that I've done, that focus on, like I have this one that I used a lavalier for a kind of a distance shot, and then some different things like that.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Yeah, I don't remember if I posted them in the school or not, but I did on one. I'll have to see.
I think you were commenting something on lavalier mics. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I find it now.
One that I just used it. I had a cap, and I had the mic right here on the cap, and me and the person I'm talking to, it picked it up pretty good.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just thought like maybe you then have some ideas to share with the others about like what makes kind of a nice pre-production process from what you've done so far.
Yeah. One thing I definitely recommend is reading Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez. I mean, it's really has a lot of information in it, and have you read that?
No, I did not, but like I wrote it down.
Yeah, it's an incredible book. It's written about 25 years ago, but it's still pretty relevant.
So cool. Yeah, you want to make a post about that in the community also? I will share it here if you want.
Okay.
Super cool, because maybe the others are also interested in that.
Sure.
Yes. And like, what would be like the 5 things that you still remember from that book that makes it so unique?
Well, one of the things he talks about is doing basing, when you're writing the script, and this is, for a feature film, see what assets you have, and if it works in the movie, incorporate it into the movie. That'll increase your production value. Like in his first movie, El Mariachi, he had access to a big tub, a bathtub that was, freestanding, and he shot a scene using that tub, and it really kind of added some production value to it as a very low budget film. It gave it more, kind of like, oh wow, how did they do that? It just gave some interest in it. So using anything that you have access to, in any people that you have, any characters that have certain talents, that if you can use that into the film, if you have. know somebody that can do martial arts and that works in the movie, use it.
Yeah.
Locations similarly, if you have a access to a really good location, do a scene there.
That's a big one. Yeah, it's really about like focusing on what you have and not what you don't have.
Exactly.
And not like there's this analogy of like driving through like down a mountain, down through a forest on ski, and like you focus on the space between the trees and not on the trees, because otherwise you like go against the trees. And I think it's the same when you like make a film and you focus on everything that you don't have, then like you'll never make it because like all of your energy is going down. But when you write like a list of the people, crew, locations that you have, you can like have a little circle, and that same circle can then grow because you focus on what you have, and it can like snowball from there. So important. Is there something else that stuck with you?
Just it's called Rebel Without a Crew. He basically did everything in it, and that's kind of along with what you're saying. Just do it. After I read that, I was working on the movie that I did, Sanderson County, and I just said, okay, I'm just gonna do it. If you wait till everything is ready, it may not work. Everything isn't going to align, but you just decide, okay, I'm going to do it. Kind of like with what you were saying, you look at what you have and not what you don't have. That's so key. It's been a while since I've read the book, so I don't remember, all of it, but I know that the main things that I remembered was, if whatever you have that can add production value to the movie, if you can use it. Obviously, you don't want to use something that's not going to make sense, like but if you can, tie it in where it works, then it kind of adds something to your shoot. I had,
Yes.
when I did my movie, I had some pretty cool locations. I had a bowling alley that I shot a wedding there. Just to kind of make it funny. And then I had a flea market. I put a beauty pageant there. So, just using what you have if it'll work.
Yeah. Such a important thing.
There's one of the things, my wife is also a filmmaker, and she talks about having a money hose to solve a problem. If you don't have a money hose, you have to use creativity, which is usually so much better.
I love that one. Yeah.
So yeah, that's, I would recommend reading that book. And he also has a TV series on Tubi that you can watch. I haven't watched it all yet, but I've watched the first one, and it's it gives you lots of tips.
That's a question. So we have, what's the best way to create a realistic budget when filming? Can I pass this on to you, Wayne?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What's the best way to create a realistic budget when filming? Because I already think you indicated it by the creativity aspect, which is the money aspect. So
yeah, well, use what you know. Write, if you're writing, and I'm talking feature film because that's what I do. Narratives, or they can be shorts, but have it about something that that's a passion. Because if you are trying to do something that you don't know about, it's going to be a lot harder and it doesn't look authentic.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's this quote by Wim Wenders where he was like making a lot of like films that he himself was not crowd sharing, and then he was like, he'll just make one last film, and then he'll stop like pretending to make a film about being an American as a German, which he had no idea about, and just shoot something that is coming from his own experience and his own life. and he was going like to his hometown and shooting like from the place where he like grew up, and like some films that only he could make, he tried then to do, and not the idea of like what a nice film could be, but like going from the inside and like telling that stories that he has himself observed. And I think that resonates like a lot with what you were saying, which is like so much easier and so less painful. It's really about like revealing all of that cheesy onion layers between you and your audience and just going straight to the core. And that's the most vulnerable part probably, but also like the most interesting to anybody.
Right. It makes a much more personal and emotional connection.
Beautiful. And any ideas on how to handle multiple responsibilities if the crew is small? This will always always happen. But one main thing I would personally do is like to separate creative parts from more production oriented parts. So if you have like a small crew, I would at least divide it into some people that take over all of the creative decisions. And then like, even if it's two people, like one person who does the creative part, the other person who like guts the back and like checks that all of the logical things like getting a parking ticket and like doing that stuff is solved. Because like once you do like micromanaging as a creative and you're in the process is blocked. So if you have at least two people, make sure one is taking creative, other is doing like having the back, and then you have like 360-degree view.
Right.
That would be
Yeah,
my idea.
definitely. If you can find someone that's really good at organizing and putting them on that, I had some in the movie I made, Sanderson County. I had a couple of people that one of them was a realtor and he worked on locations. He was a real estate agent, so he traveled around and looked at places all the time. And so I said, look, I need this. And he found some amazing locations.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you want the vision to meet the practical aspects kind of. And then yeah. Inga, would you be confident that I share some of your mood board photos? And then we can call it a day.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah. So Inga sent me some of the photos that she was inspired to for the mood board. And maybe you would like to share something about that. So we have like, it's like a graduation scene. We have like a book with a rose. We have a hand with some watches. Would you like to share some of the ideas that went into this?
Honestly, I'll say I was pressured. Okay, not pressured. It was like last minute thing because I didn't want to do something boring. So then I heard that they're gonna have a graduation and a prom. So I was like, okay, let me take advantage of that. So I asked the learners, I said, okay, can I like take pictures? Because there's a moon board I wanna do and I'm learning stuff like that. So they all agreed. They're like, okay, yeah, sure. Took a picture of them as a group and I chose one girl to be like the main character. I think the girl's wearing a gold dress.
Yes.
So yeah, and there was a book with a rose in it, and I was just taking pictures, honestly.
Yeah. But this
To
is
have that
sometimes
post-graduation.
how it
Okay.
how it goes. Like you start up with something and then like that process leads you to somewhere. So I think like, yeah, that's super cool. I was actually really inspired by that and was like, yeah, that's something cool. And yeah, I would really go for this and just make it something, and then it will like lead to something else. And yeah, that creative process is started. So I don't think it's dull.
Thank you. I didn't know because the hand picture, I don't know what that is for, but I don't know. I was just taking pictures of anything.
Yeah, but maybe there's something about the hand picture that once you shoot it, you will know it. So I think it's all about like getting started and like making that.
Okay.
Yeah, so what would be cool is if you just go from the photos and like do these like easygoing test shoots just with the phone, but then you have a video on your phone and we can watch that next time together.
Okay.
Yes. And yeah, same for everybody who wants to like take part in that like filmmaking workshop. If you have the time, spend like 1 hour doing the test shoot with a person, and then we can like meet next Sunday and continue with like really going into the shooting aspects. Sounds good?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, and like when you have anything, you know, or some idea you want to share, or like a book that inspired you recently, let me know, let the others know, and then, or if it comes later, make a post to the community thing. I really look forward to that. Yeah, and then thank you for joining the call today. I was really happy to like spend the time with you, go through these little notes that we then make to a big film. Yay. Okay, cool. Appreciate you all. See you. Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Bye.